Okay, everybody, we're getting ready to go live here in just 2 minutes. Gonna go live here in 2 minutes. Hello and welcome to CptDomano's Indie Corner episode number 3, where we talk about video games, or talk about indie games. Wow, already flubbing that intro. It is cold as hell down in my basement today, so I've got my little cup of tea to hopefully warm me up while I'm talking to you guys. So how was everybody's week? Was it good? We're a little bit closer to Christmas now, which I just realized today that not only do I have one more week left of work before I get 2 weeks off, but it is also only a few more weeks until Christmas, and I have yet to even begin Christmas shopping. So that should be happening this weekend and well into next weekend. But we are here to talk about indie games, and today we are going to look at, I mentioned last week that there was the Humble Intro version bundle that was out. That bundle now is closed, so that bundle is no longer available, and I think they wait about a week before they start it up again. But I did spend some time with all of these games. Actually, I've spent time with it before, because all of these games are fairly old, couple of years at least, and the one that I wanted to talk about today was DEFCON. And the reason why I picked DEFCON was because this game, the last two games that I've played, Binding of Isaac and Sideway New York, all had very similar elements to games that were already created. So you had Binding of Isaac that looked just like Legend of Zelda, and then Sideway was pretty much just your typical platformer, but it had the unique level, the 3Dness of the level, being able to flip and change. With this game, we go a little bit off into a more, I don't want to say abstract so much, but it's more, you'll see when I bring it up here how different the layout is. It is a strategy game, kind of. Well, not kind of, I mean it is a strategy game, but the way that it works, it's a lot more slower paced, it's a lot more just environmentally set up. It's not so much you don't see individual units or anything like that. The premise of the game is really you're kind of in it's basically Cold War's going on, and everybody's just sitting on their buttons, ready to throw nukes out. and you're in your bunker, basically just staring at a computer screen, and everything is happening outside of this bunker, but all you have is this computer screen. In reality, actually, if anybody ever remembers the old 80s movie War Games, they'll probably recognize this map right off the bat, because it definitely, a lot of what Introversion does is they make their stuff look very retro and have kind of almost an 80s vibe to a lot of their stuff. And so what we end up seeing here is, if you've seen War Games, this will be the map for the most part. So that's that. So let's go ahead and let me get that fired up here, make sure everything's set. I have had some issues testing today with DEFCON. I've had my audio kind of kick out, so I'm going to try to keep the chat open. I'll try to make sure that I watch the chat. So let me know if there's any type of technical difficulties that happen, and I'll try to work with it. But okay, so here we go. We're going to switch over now. See you in a little bit. Okay, so as you can see right off the bat, the game is called DEFCON Everybody Dies. That's one of the things to note about this game, and it actually is kind of a nod to the movie War Games, and the fact that nobody really wins in nuclear war. And if you can kind of tell from the sound already, if the sound is even coming on, it's a very minimalistic game. There's not a whole lot going on. The sound is very... It doesn't overpower the game. It's very almost like Limbo. If you guys have played Limbo at all, it's very atmospheric, and it's not meant to be really actiony or really in your face or anything like that. So let's go ahead and start up a new game here. No sound. Already with the no sound. You're kidding me. You're killing me here. No. There's sound. It's just... actually, it's just very, very quiet. Yeah. And the other thing, just as a technical explanation here, if I click out of this screen... If I click out of this screen at all, the sound just cuts out. So it's not like the sound doesn't run in the background. So if I ever click off of the screen, then the sound will cut out. So as we can see, this is how the game starts. We have the lobby screen here. You're the new player. You can actually end up canceling, or you can basically make 6 AI players and just have the game play itself. But for right now, because of the way the game is, we'll go ahead and just add 2 CPU players and myself, so that I can explain how the game actually works. So we have a couple of different game modes and a couple of different score modes. There's an office mode, and if you hover, usually, yeah, if you click, if you pick the game mode, my mistake, I'm sorry, then it actually gives an explanation of what the game type is. So in office mode, the DEFCON will run in a window with no sound, and it'll run in real time for no more than 6 hours. And the thing to remember about this game is that it can take quite a long time to get through, because you actually go through all the stages of DEFCON, from DEFCON 5 all the way down to 1, and then everything's dead at that point. So we'll just go ahead and start with the default, and then there's you can actually choose how the game is scored. So we have the default score mode, which is actually we score 2 points for every enemy kill, and we lose 1 point for every person that we fail to protect. The thing to remember here is that it's not just about seeing how many casualties you can inflict, but it is also about keeping your own people safe. So saving yourself from bomber attacks, saving yourself from nuclear attacks, and you'll see how that plays out in this game. So we'll just go ahead. We got our my player and the 2 CPUs, and we'll go ahead and ready up. And so, as you can see, this is it. This is the map right here. We start at DEFCON 5, and I don't know if the resolution will be good enough for you guys to see, but actually right up at the top here, you have the different levels of DEFCON. So we start at 5, and if you hover over 5, it says that there's no hostile actions permitted, enemy units are invisible on radar. Essentially what this time is right now is for you to set up. And over here you have your units. So you have your radar stations, your missile silos, your air bases, and then your naval fleets. And so if you click here, so we've defaulted to the U.S. or actually the North America region, and you can place your radar, and that's for seeing, obviously for seeing where there's enemy units and when missiles are going to be coming into your base or into your cities. The thing to remember too is that these are all cities, and these are all targets for the nuclear strikes. So essentially, everybody else, once the nuclear bombs start going, they're going to start attacking these cities. And the bigger the icon, the more people there are, the more casualties there are to inflict. So you really want to keep your large cities protected. And so we'll go ahead and we'll start with place radar right there. And again, it shows you the range for what you can see. We'll go ahead and just start placing radars everywhere here. One over there. So now we have all of our radars placed, and the thing too is that once you place these units, you can't move them. Now the idea too, you see down here, is where it says DEFCON 4 in 3 minutes 15 seconds. That will mean it goes to DEFCON 4, which means enemy units will become visible on radar. So we're getting closer to when the nuclear weapons are going to start. And so what happens is that once DEFCON 4 hits, the radar comes on, and we'll start seeing kind of where, at the very least, we'll see where the naval units of everybody is placed. And so, okay, so I still got about 3 minutes. We'll go ahead and just place missile silos anywhere that we can. And again, I'm not being really strategic about this. There's a whole, what am I trying to say? I'm sorry. There's a whole strategy involved into actual placement and things like that, but for the purpose of this little demonstration here, I'm just going to start throwing stuff down. So we have the missile silos, which will actually, these are where your nuclear bombs are going to get shot off from. And so we also can start placing air bases, which will allow us air superiority with fighter jets, and also bombers to take out the naval fleets that'll be around our seaboard here. Start picking that, and then we have fleets. Now, the interesting thing about fleets is that you can create your own. You get up to 6 slots to create your fleet with, and you get a battleship, sub, and carrier. You get 12 of each, and each one has their own advantages and disadvantages, which you can see in the lower right there. So we'll just go ahead and, like I said before, we'll just do this really quick. Whoops. And I did it too quick, and now I have this random fleet that's sitting out there. The one thing to note is that subs are actually where your your mobile nukes will come from. So when the call comes to start shooting off nuclear weapons, your subs will have the ability to shoot off those weapons. And so you kind of want to keep them. You don't want to have a whole fleet of subs because they're pretty vulnerable to attack at that point. So and you can place anywhere within the red area. So I'll start here and do this really quick. I've only got another minute. That's the thing too, is that you are definitely timed in what you can do, and it adds a little bit to the urgency of the of the strategy of the game. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little flustered right now. Just start putting stuff down here. Okay. So now we have 17 seconds. And again, if you look up top here, there are there's the speed buttons here, and I won't play this whole round or this whole game in real time, because these games will literally take at least an hour or 2 hours. So now we hit DEFCON 4, and as you can see, my radar has only shown these 2 battleships, so I have no idea where anybody else is right now. But the one thing I can do is start moving my fleets, and that can give me a better idea of where enemy units might be. Now, the other thing to remember too is that I did tell all of these fleets to move, and they are moving extremely slow. This is in real time, and they're not moving all that fast, which means, again, positioning is extremely important, and making sure that you understand where you need to go minutes before you even need to be there, because you can be easily out-positioned. I'm probably going to see an attack come up from here with some fleets if there's a Southern America player. But okay, so this is essentially what happens at DEFCON 3 is you start trying to scout as much information as you can. And again, we have the 5-minute mark here coming in for DEFCON 3. And then, so just for an explanation of what DEFCON 3 is, naval combat is authorized and air combat will be authorized. So once we get to DEFCON 3, these fleets that we have created will start attacking the crap out of each other. And so let's just go ahead and skip ahead to that. Okay, so now we see that we have a player 3 up here. And then right before we get to DEFCON 3, I'm going to put it back to real time and just show exactly what's going on here. So what will happen in 15 seconds is that this fleet will start attacking this fleet, and most likely this fleet will start coming down here and attacking my fleet here. And again, we still haven't gotten to we still haven't gotten to the actual nuclear missile release, and that happens at DEFCON 2. No, I'm sorry, it happens at DEFCON 1. DEFCON 2 apparently doesn't have anything. I've got people saying in the chat to push the button. No, not yet. But again, so now we have these two fleets are attacking, and as like I said before, very minimalistic. This is all that you see, and this is it. And the sound right now, the music's getting a little more intense, and you're starting to see things like that. So let's go ahead and right-click on the carrier to start to release our fighters here, so that we can try to attack the fighters that are attacking us. And we'll go there. Shoot all those guys. Okay. And again, still don't really have an idea. Look at all the fleets that I've created, and then these are the only 2 fleets that I see. Let's actually start sending these guys over here. And then we'll just speed it up. And again, like I said, this is not going to be... Whoops! This is not going to be exciting. I mean, not exciting. It's not going to be me killing the computer in this, because I'm just running through and I'm not really thinking about where to set up my guys or anything like that. So this fleet, wow, there's a lot of fighters over there. This fleet will more than likely be taken out, because not only that, I ended up finding an airbase here and the start of another fleet, and this fleet is completely, as you can see, by itself. So, but regardless, we'll just go ahead and speed it up. We're getting to DEFCON 1, and then that's when the real fun begins, and that's when all the nukes start. So keep it going. Like I said, if I was to have played this in real time, it would be 27 minutes, 28 minutes before we'd even start getting to the nuclear launch. Okay, so now we'll send that into real time, DEFCON 1, and now it's just a matter of time before you'll get an announcement that says Player 2 has launched nukes, which should be happening sometime soon. And oops. I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to start going in on their territories. So we've got Cairo at 26.1 million. Let's just send all 10 of our nukes over there. And so what will happen? Speed it up. And then there's a countdown. So now we have 60 seconds before those actually start shooting off. And so, again, music's getting a little more intense. And then that's it. There we go. Now we have one nuke that's going off. And let's just go ahead and speed this up, because eventually we should start seeing everybody else start to shoot. I don't understand what's happening here. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing anybody throw off any nukes. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what the problem is here. But we do see that we have a couple of Player 1 fighters coming in to try to take out our air defenses. We still have this single missile coming out here. Let's see if it actually hits. This actually didn't happen the 5 or 6 times I've tried testing out this game. There ended up being missiles all over the place and everything happening like that, and unfortunately it's looking like my nukes are getting shot right out of the air. So we're not even going to see that. That's okay. Well, I will tell you what. Sometimes when you go live, things happen. I'm going to go ahead and leave this game right here, because this is unfortunately not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. What I will do is I will start up... They actually have a rolling demo of a couple of CPU players playing, and that'll be going. So I'll have that in the background while I go ahead and just tell you a little bit about the company that made DEFCON television intro version. They were founded in 2001 by 3 guys, 3 college buddies, and they made DEFCON in, I want to say, 2006. Submitted it to the IGF and ended up winning the grand prize for the main competition of the IGF Awards. So this is recognized as a good game by the other indie developers. Won a couple other awards too. Ended up losing to Braid of all games for innovation in game design. And they're actually working on a game right now called Prison Architect, which, if you guys have ever played the theme hospital games or any of the kind of theme games like that, it's a similar game, but it's not. Obviously, it's going to have this kind of a twist on it. So you are building a prison, and the guys are trying to escape, and I'm sure that they will. That was just announced in October, so we'll see a little bit more on that later. But right now, let me go ahead and switch back over to the game. And as you can see, we're already in DEFCON. We're getting ready for DEFCON 1. A little bit more going on here. As you can see, we got all of the players are exposed. You can see exactly where everything's at, and now we're at DEFCON 1. And so you're seeing right now all of these little nuclear launch detected start popping up all over the world. And so what you'll end up seeing as well is you'll slowly start to see how many kills and deaths, collateral damage, and survivors that each team has. And keep in mind, this is the point of the game where it does start to get a little busy up here, and you'll start seeing this is 55 million people. If you are looking really close, gosh, there's a lot going on. But you'll start seeing Berlin's hit 2 million dead. Random cities, and it's all adding into that atmosphere of you're just in a bunker. These are just it's just numbers, just things like that. But outside, everything is going absolutely crazy. I'm sure you're. I mean, it's that kind of detached, but you're still very into what's going on. It definitely draws you in like that. And then, again, like I said, the whole detachment of it is that, the tagline is DEFCON, everybody dies. And everybody dies, and then if you've seen war games, the idea is that nobody really wins in thermonuclear war. And when we get to the end of this game, which should be coming up pretty soon here, there isn't a victory screen. There isn't anything like that. It's just simply player one has won, and that's it. I know it doesn't sound exciting, but when you're actually playing the game and you're just, you're pretty much helpless once you start seeing these little nukes come down, and you're watching, and you're just hoping that it doesn't do that much damage, or you end up getting a lucky hit with a missile, things like that, and then at the end, it just simply says you won. So, I'm going to go ahead and quit out of this. And unfortunately, this wasn't set up exactly like I wanted it set up, and that's just unfortunate. Sometimes, like I said, when you go live, things happen, and so it kind of threw me off a little bit. But I do want to state that this game is more along the lines of like what I was going for with abstractness. It wasn't a direct, you're not controlling individual units. It's not like StarCraft. It's not like Command and Conquer or anything like that. But it can still really be an enjoyable game, almost like a game of chess. Do you want to play a game of chess? In the fact that everything moves really slow, and you have to think about what you're doing before you actually do it. It's not just a very reaction-based thing, like, okay, so this guy's coming here, I'm going to bring my guys here. Essentially, if you have bad strategy from the beginning, you're gonna lose the game even before it starts. Excuse me. So, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. And the one message I wanted to throw out to everybody right now is, was that a beer? No, this is tea. This is tea. But the one message I did want to throw out is that a lot of the games that I show are they're not going to be really exciting. They're not going to have these grand, crazy graphics or ridiculous gameplay or anything like that. But they can still be fun. And the thing that I wanted to talk about before going today was what is a person's definition of fun? And because what I do end up seeing is that you'll see people that get into a certain genre of game, say a first-person shooter, they get into sports games or they get into strategy games, and then they start kind of hating anybody that plays the other types of genres. So first-person shooters and sports guys are just meatheads, and you just start getting negative attitudes towards those types of games and those types of people that play those games. But the thing that you have to remember when you're playing video games and you're playing whether it's indie games or mainstream games or anything like that, fun is all relative. You might have taken a look at I gotta close this chat. Rooney, you are killing me. And I just blew my train of thought. Damn it. Fun is all relative. So what the idea is you might look at DEFCON and immediately just say, this game is horrible, look at it, doesn't have any good graphics or anything like that. But if you actually went in, played the game, gave it a chance, you might end up, liking it. Not because of the graphics, not because of the gameplay, but because of the atmosphere, or simply because of the strategy involved in it. And that's the thing that I want everybody to think about when they're in this type of hobby. It's that not all games suck, and not all games are fun based simply on how they look or just random, almost superficial type things. It's whatever makes you enjoy the game. And if you enjoy first-person shooters and the person next to you enjoys sports games, that's fine. There's no need to, hate on that. It's just, hey, those are the types of games that you like. And that's I don't like seeing that in our industry right now, and that's something that I want to try to combat and try to educate people on, is this constant, basically that your game is better than my game, or I'm a better gamer because I play these types of games, and that's not the truth, and that's not what the message is here. And I'm kind of rambling. Oh my god, I am so sorry, guys. I am a little bit off today, but so moving forward, I want y'all to take the games that you're playing right now and actually think about what makes them enjoyable for you. Is it just simply gameplay? And then if it is just gameplay, well then go ahead and start checking out some of these games. If you if you want a different type of game, and then you saw DEFCON and you weren't quite sure about it, play the demo. Play the demo of it. You can get it on Steam right now for $9.99. Check it out, and then just experiment. And that's the thing. So I would like people to get out of this mindset of I only play strategy games or I only play these types of games, and come into this show with an open mind and just enjoy video games, man. All right, I've been babbling for too long already. I'm going to end this. I appreciate all of you watching. Next week, I am not quite sure what I'll be playing. I have to take a look at my list and look at what's out there. But it will definitely be a little bit better than this. This was not, in my mind, the best representation of this game that I could put out there, and I do apologize for that. But the show must go on. I'm going to stop rambling. I will see you all later. Have a good week. It's almost Christmas. Happy holidays, all of that. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.